Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time we have unboxing of the Nothing Phone 4a Pro. Let's get started. Pay close attention because this is likely one of the devices I've liked the most recently. The manufacturer had promised not to launch a new high-end device this year. Instead, they released a premium mid-range device. Super cool. Remember that the letter A in Nothing's nomenclature means it's a mid-range device, but let's take it out of its box and tell you that its launch price in Mexico is 12,499 pesos in the 12 GB of RAM configuration with 256 GB of storage. All right, let's go ahead and take it out of its box. As you can see, the packaging is quite minimalist. Here, as is customary, we receive a welcome letter from the Nothing team. Now let's open this small box to reveal the cell phone. But before we get a glimpse of the phone, let me check what's on this side because it seems there might be a bit of extra content here. Let's take a look. Look at that, it comes with a case included. This is certainly good news as it is already hinting a bit at the window design that comes with the device. The case is entirely transparent and completely flexible, featuring edges. Yeah, the reality is that it's quite a straightforward case and it's always nice to have a case included in the device's box. Now, let's see what else is included here because we will also discover the cable, which is a USB-C to USB-C type. In this instance, it lacks transparencies, unlike the brand's flagship model. And finally, we have the paperwork of a lifetime. In this unit that was sent to me for testing, it includes a document of the European nomenclature. Incidentally, this serves to review a few other aspects here. It seems that it might not stand out significantly in terms of resistance and repairability. However, it does feature a durable battery and some level of water resistance, which I will discuss in a moment. But anyway, we will also find here the documentation and papers that have always been included. And finally, the key to removing the tray, which notes that in this particular case, if you maintain the traditional transparency effect of the brand. So it appears that this will indeed be all the content we observe here within the device's box. On the opposite side, we will find the cell phone directly according to what we are observing. And here in this packaging, they simply show us a bit more of the functionality of the buttons, as it comes with an additional button that, as you can see, is labeled as the essential space. A bit more information, and that's all. Now let's take this cell phone out of its packaging, and I'll carefully peel off the sticker here. Wow, look at that. The device is truly quite impressive. One important thing to highlight, really worth noting, is that the body is made of aluminum, not only the frames, but also the entire back body. This is why we see this little band here, which aids in the device's connectivity and its antennas. It's really quite remarkable. Let me switch on the device, and while it powers up, we'll just save here. This short piece of content that we removed from the box. We already have the device configured, so let's take a look at its specifications. In this case, we will find 9 millimeters thick and a weight of 210 grams in an aluminum body that is perceived super premium. Currently, there are very few cell phones that have the body. Total aluminum, and in addition to this edition in silver, is available in black and pink. Where it does not get to be so outstanding is in water resistance, as it has the IP65 level. The manufacturer promises to have tested it submerged in water up to 2005 centimeters deep for 20 minutes, and it held up. So, for accidental drops in shallow places, it may hold up well, but in the price range, if you are going to find devices that have IP68, or even a notch higher, so it's not going to boast too much endurance in that regard, just enough. Now, here on the front here, we're going to find Gorilla Glass 1, confirming to us that this is not a device that has resistance as a top priority. I think the aluminum body can help it hold up pretty well. Obviously, it's going to get marked up quite a bit if it gets dropped on very rough terrain, but it's going to hold up. It's not going to break easily, at least the back. But on the front, I think we would have liked to see Gorilla Glass Victus. But speaking of the screen, we're going to find over here with 83-inch in its diagonal, 1260 pix 2800 resolution, which gives us a density of 450 pixels per inch. So it's a really very good screen in that sense. But in addition to that, it would provide us with a refresh rate that can reach up to 144 Hz. So I believe it possesses truly exceptional capabilities regarding the fluidity of the content it can display here for us. Additionally, we will discover an impressively high brightness level of 5000 nits in HDR content. and 600 nits overall brightness and 800 nits typical brightness, I think it will be a good positive display in this regard. The lower brightness also looks very attractive to me, so it seems to be a display that does have good capabilities to compete and with sufficiently reduced BC. The truth is that for the price it is very well achieved. And by the way, as usual in this manufacturer, we find lighting elements on the back. In this case, a glyph interface that comes around here to give us some indicators. For example, in this case, it is indicating me the volume level. The more I turn it up, the more it fills in, and the lower I turn it down. It even goes so far as to show an X that it is completely silent. That would indeed be one of its functions, however. It will also be synchronized with the call sounds. Remember, nothing offers various styles. And take note that in this particular case, for instance, there is a small person walking there. We also have several others that will display animations in various styles. In this context, nothing has always been known for its very prominent work previously, with different LED strips all around the entire back cover. Currently, it appears that they have managed to keep it within this small circle, yet it remains quite appealing. Personally, I find this feature quite enjoyable because it significantly enhances brand identity. Actually, as you can observe, it can also display notification icons for you. You just need to configure it here if you wish to be notified about missed calls or alerts from specific apps using keywords. In this section, you select which icon will appear based on the keyword you have, functioning as a sort of notification LED. It can display a symbol for you. Additionally, we have the timer here, which will fill up like an hourglass within that small interface. It can also act as a progress bar for apps like Uber or Google Calendar. Hopefully, more applications will be added soon. It is truly quite interesting indeed. As you can see, you could also use it not only as a flash, but as a kind of flashlight too. This means you can switch on the traditional flashlight, or alternatively, you can use this system for a bit more subtle lighting. Regarding the sound, you will discover a stereo configuration with one speaker located at the bottom and another positioned in the earpiece area for calls. Although I must mention that they really have almost no presence of low frequencies at all. So it results in a wide sound experience. However, in this case, you definitely perceive a sound that is entirely mid-range. In this regard, it doesn't come as a surprise. The front camera features 32 megapixels with an f2.2 aperture and a fixed focus. As is often the case, there you are observing the preview before capturing the picture, which, as you can see, appears very burnt out and not well optimized. However, after capturing the image, it indeed applies effective optimization. Actually, the colorization achieved by nothing appears quite impressive to me. It resembles a photograph with natural colors, exhibiting an excellent level of detail. Additionally, the content captured using this device truly possesses the characteristics. HDR is used to fully utilize the screen, providing us with a heightened sense of realism. Pay attention to how certain areas suddenly increase in brightness, enhancing the overall realism of everything we capture. And be mindful of the rear cameras. To begin with, there's an 8 megapixel ultra wide-angle camera with an f2.2 aperture and fixed focus. It's not the most appealing, but quite decent for the range. Next is a 50 megapixel main camera with an f1.88 aperture, optical stabilization, and autofocus. Lastly, we have a 50 megapixel periscope camera with an f2.88 aperture, optical stabilization, and 3.5 times optical zoom. So let's take a closer look at some of the results. Right there, you're viewing the ultra wide angle camera, which actually appears quite impressive, especially given that it's equipped with a small sensor. The outcomes are indeed positive, at least good enough for capturing very wide shots effectively. The coloration is what I appreciate the most because it remains quite natural across all the cameras. Now you're seeing the main camera and then the 2x zoom crop at 48 millimeters, which successfully maintains its optical capability. Actually, the manufacturer is notable for its excellent optimization of the cameras, thanks to its True Lens Engine 4 technology. Honestly, it appears fantastic. Right now, you're observing the 80mm telephoto camera. Clearly, it appears very sharp with high quality. Additionally, this telephoto camera offers access to a 160mm crop. That's a 7x digital zoom, yet it resembles optical quality. Indeed, it appears very prominent. Se ni si stata sin denote the zoom feature that this device offers. Now, you are viewing the 10x digital zoom picture, which still appears to have optical quality. Thus, the short and medium distance zoom is completely managed by this device. In fact, here you can see another photograph taken with 10x digital zoom, allowing you to appreciate the excellent quality of photography we achieve. However, it's noteworthy that this device possesses even more advanced zoom capabilities. Here, you're looking at 30 times digital zoom, clearly digital, but this applies to all cameras. Excellent optimization. Now, you're even considering 60x, and this device can go all the way up to 140x. However, it really depends significantly on how effectively the artificial intelligence comprehends the elements. The truth is, it's indeed a highly competitive camera when it comes to short, medium, and we could even argue still long-distance zoom. Because even at 30x, it performs remarkably well already at a very long distance. I firmly believe that you will greatly rely on artificial intelligence. Yet it remains an incredibly competitive device at the photographic level, especially for the price range it competes in. For instance, I might even say it could potentially surpass the Galaxy S series, which is known as a high-end device. However, I'm referring to the base model, not the Ultra version. In my opinion, this device offers significantly more appealing hardware in its cameras. This is specifically regarding photography. But let's move on to video recording. Both the main camera and the telephoto camera have the capability to record in 4K, which is great. However, it's unfortunate that the ultra wide-angle camera is limited to recording only in Full HD. This is a point where you can clearly see that this is a mid-range device and not a high-end one. Regarding the front camera, it's important to note that we don't have 4K recording available here either, and this is again one of the aspects where you can tell that it's not quite a high-end device yet. Great for photos, but video may lack. The battery is Fito 80, supporting 50 watts fast charging by cable. Mind you, the charger is not included in the box. So again, unpaid mention to the Ugreen chargers that are kind of compatible with the charging protocols of this device. They have different styles, so I'll leave you the link in the description. Lately, I've made a lot of unpaid mentions of this charger thanks to manufacturers not putting chargers on their cell phones. So, well, Ugreen offers a wide variety of charger styles ranging from very small ones to larger ones depending on the power requirements you have. But getting back to the main point, it also supports reverse charging, allowing you to use it as a power bank to charge other cell phones. However, keep in mind that it only provides an output of 7.5 watts. Obviously, it lacks wireless charging capabilities within the system. We're going to find Android 16, which is running on Nothing OS 4.1. And it's important to note that the manufacturer pays a lot of attention to detail with their cell phones. In fact, here is already getting an update that is going to improve pretty much everything about the cell phone. Watch here the list of changes. That's a very good thing. The manufacturer promises you 3 years of Android updates, so it's not the most widespread, but enough to give the device a very good lifetime. And to wrap things up, we're going to find 12 GB of RAM with 2 GB virtual additional and 256 GB of storage. What's interesting here is that the RAM is LPDDR4X and the storage is UFS 3.1. This stands out because this year manufacturers are using simpler RAM and storage in mid-range devices due to AI, which has increased the cost of these components. But nothing specific did the opposite. He installed a RAM along with a super fast storage system to provide you with a truly high-end experience in this aspect. Finally, the processor is the Snapdragon 7 Gen 4, which is manufactured by TSMC in a 4nm process, and look at the performance it is able to give us. In Geekbench, we got 1,358 points in single core and 4,289 points in multi-core, while in Antutu it reached 4,400 points in multi-core. The battery looks like it will be a point. Well, at least that impression gives us this first test. And even though it isn't the most powerful in its segment, since there are other devices that focus entirely on power, it still provides more than enough power for nearly all users. Therefore, it will be a device that feels fluid and doesn't experience any lag thanks to its really well-optimized operating system. The system is somewhat minimalist and features a highly original design. It is undoubtedly a device you should consider if you have a strong interest in photography. You desire a somewhat unique design and prefer not to invest in a premium device. Like all mid-range has pros and cons, but well, we will do more tests when we have the full video review. For the moment, we have reached the end of this video. I hope you liked it. If so, you know you can tell us, and we'll see you next time.